What's up, guys? So I got back from Star Wars. I've seen it 3 times, and I saw it last week, and it was it was okay. The only thing redeemable that it has is that it's not like Episode 5, so we don't get any of that J.J. Abrams shit. Because he copies every single movie and doesn't have an original bone in his body. So today I'm going to talk about the problems I had with Episode 8. And then I'll go into some of the better things about it. Now, the first thing is editing. Now, at first I didn't notice it, but as I thought about it, I thought, oh, there was something wrong with some of the scenes. And so you have the first one, which is the first one that I listed anyway. You have Finn and Rose escaping the exploding ship. Now, there's a scene where Snoke's ship explodes. All right, they're literally about to be executed. They get away from that, and so everything is kind of like burnt up. They're trying to find the ship. You have BB-8 controlling an AT Walker, or whatever they're called, and Finn and Rose hop on, and then you see them walking towards the ship, and then it like cuts, and then the ship flies out, but there's nothing like them getting into the ship or anything like that. So I have a problem with that because it has to do with a convenience thing. I don't like conveniences. I don't like plot devices. I don't like those things. Now, sometimes you have to have them, but if you do have to have them, I think you should probably be a little bit more creative in your writing instead of, oh, I want this to happen so I can get here. Like, that doesn't work for me, okay? And that's a big issue for anything. Okay, you have Finn and Rose being executed. Like I just said earlier, they were about to be executed. So Captain Phasma finds them. They're trying to do something to Snoke's ship because they are literally being tracked. The Resistance ship is being tracked through hyperspace. They're being tracked through light speed, basically. Okay, they get caught. Finn and Rose are about to be executed. Instead of just shooting them, because normal people would do that, Phasma's like, no, I want it to hurt. And so then she just basically grabs swords, their laser swords, and is going to cut off their head, because I guess that's more painful. So anyway, what you see is they're literally about to cut off their heads. The ship explodes. Phasma is right there in front of them before the ship explodes. And then it explodes, it cuts, you get back to Finn and Rose, and Phasma is nowhere to be seen. Finn and Rose are lying on the ground because it exploded. Phasma's like 100 feet away. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. Alright? She comes in, there's smoke, fog, whatever with a bunch of stormtroopers behind her. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Then you have the Ren and Rey fight scene. Now, Ren and Rey, great dynamic. I really want to see a Ren and Rey kind of love thing. That would be pretty cool, actually. Not Rey and Poe. Do not do that. But Episode 9 is already made, so, you gotta go with whatever stupid decision J.J. Abrams decided to go with. Unless he went with Ren and Rey. Then it's okay. Okay. Anyway, so they're fighting, and there's a cool scene. Remember that scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin? They basically force push each other. That's the coolest scene in Episode 3. One of the coolest anyway. And they just go back like that. It's so great. Anyway, so there's an opposite scene where they're both pulling at something. And a lightsaber. They're pulling at a lightsaber. It's Anakin's lightsaber. It explodes. Perfect. Super, super hot, by the way. Well, that actually wasn't the only hot scene I saw in Episode 8. So, what happens is it cuts. It cuts there. I have no idea why, but it just does. It cuts there. Another convenience. When it gets back to Ren, he's lying on the ground unconscious because of the explosion, and Rey, again, is nowhere to be found. She runs off, right? There's no reaction, there's no nothing. And that would have been really great to see Rey's reaction in that moment. All right. Next, you have Poe. Okay. And this is where you see some feministic kind of things get in there. Okay. Now, you have 30 minutes of content. Basically, I don't know. I'm estimating 30 minutes of twists and turns, but they all rely on Poe's decision. Okay. They all stem from Poe's decision. And it kind of sucks. Okay. It does. You have two scenes. You have the scene where, you have, two kind of like separate storylines, I guess. They're like, I don't know what to call them, but you have this thing with Poe and Holdo, and you have this thing with Finn and Rose. Okay, both going on. Poe asked Finn and Rose to do something. Remember, I was talking about the hyperdrive or hyperspace, whatever. And so Finn and Rose are supposed to deactivate the tracker to track the ship in light speed. That's what they're supposed to do. Holdo doesn't know about this, okay? So there's a few twists and turns. Now, the twist and turn is that Poe basically says to Holdo, I'm relieving you of your leadership, basically. And you get for this moment, okay, so is Holdo the bad guy? Like, it's kind of weird, right? And I understand what the story is supposed to do. The story is supposed to portray Poe as this kind of Han Solo character, all right? He's a hothead. He thinks he knows everything, stuff like that, which is fine, but it does it in the worst way possible because you kind of have this feministic, they're women, and so they're better than men kind of thing. And that's what goes on, okay? You have Holdo and Poe reacting to each other. There's a really weird relationship thing. And it's annoying because I felt like Rian Johnson was like, okay, let me give them a bit of a taste of episode 5 again, okay? Let's introduce that kind of Leia versus Han Solo kind of thing again. And you get nothing out of it. Nothing out of it. It's disgusting. It's there for a moment. And the worst part, right, is you have a scene where Holdo's like, I like him. I'm just like, are you serious right now? Like, no. I really hate that Poe is trying to be cast as the new Han Solo. Make Poe a original character. We don't need another Han Solo. Han Solo is dead. Don't do this. This doesn't need to exist, okay? So they just don't go with anything very well. And so what happens is basically Poe is wrong in the end. And I get that you're supposed to learn from this kind of, oh, he was wrong. Yeah, he should have listened, blah, blah, blah. But you don't get that, okay? It feels like an attack on him, on his character, on him as a guy. Not only did the movie seem to sit there and bash Poe and make it seem like he was an idiot for whatever reason, because he wasn't given direction from Holdo. So I'm not going to sit there and blame him for being stupid and not listening. I would have done the same thing. I'm not going to listen to someone who's not going to give me information that is needed, okay? And when Leia gives the information, how easy would it have been for Holdo to give Poe the same information in the movie? Like, Poe is scared. He is scared because they are running out of fuel, because Snoke is trying to get the resistance, all right? They're in the ship, and Snoke can actually follow them through hyperspace. They have an issue with fuel, and they can't go into hyperspace and get away from Snoke, okay? They cannot at all. So what Holdo does, okay, she's in command because Leia is unconscious, all right? What Holdo does is Holdo fuels the transports within the ship, and that's scary for Poe. That is scary for Poe because the transports don't have any ammunition, don't have a way to fire back, have no defenses, all right? So what happens is that Snoke in his ship, or whatever, the guy that fulfills Tarkin's role now, whatever the name is, anyway, they can shoot all those transports and they're done for, okay? And that's actually almost what happens. They end up shooting the transport, which is why Holdo turns her ship around and goes into hyperspace and destroys Snoke's ship, okay? That is what happened. But there's no recognition from Poe or anything about his idea, like about his fear being fulfilled. There's none of that, right? When they start shooting, he doesn't say, oh, this is what I was afraid of in the first place. Nothing like that. It's just weird. Like, it's so strange. So I felt that in that moment, there was no character arc for Poe at all, okay? It was just Poe, and he was just dealing with weird shit. So that did nothing. You have, okay, the Asian girl. So we're at stupid decisions that Rian Johnson decides to, like, stupid, like, directing decisions, right? So you have this scene where Finn, there's a battering ram cannon. They're trying to get it into the Resistance base, okay? It's about to charge. All the Resistance or rebels are attacking it. Finn's in the middle. It's about to charge, and basically their objective is that they have to get in the cannon. They have to attack the cannon in the inside, okay? And that's basically what happens. So during its charge, okay, Finn goes in there and his weapon systems are broken. So basically what he's going to do is he's going to crash his ship into the battering ram cannon, okay? Rose comes around. Poe, before that decision is made, before Finn's decision is made to just sacrifice himself, Poe is like, Finn, get out of the way. It's fully charged. It's actually not fully charged, by the way. And Finn is like, no, I'm going to go for it anyway. I have to do this, right? And so what happens is he goes, he's right there, basically on the edge of the cannon, about to crash into it. And Rose comes around like an idiot that she is and crashes into his ship. She is unconscious, all right? The ship crashes. Finn takes off her helmet. There's some stupid, shitty dialogue, okay? And the dialogue, I'm like, this is so cringy, and I hate it. It's the worst thing in there ever. Finn is like, why did you do that, okay? And Rose is like, this is how we're gonna win. Not by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. Like, hope, love, give me a damn good Star Wars film and just stop being this touchy-feely bullshit, okay? I don't need no hope from Rogue One. I don't need any like that. Stop, Disney. Stop. Anyway, after he does that, after she lands, he talks, there's this stupid, cringy, bullshit conversation going on. The cannon charges, fully charged, and shoots the door as they're lying on the ground, okay? And that is an issue. First of all, he could have crashed into it, and it could have exploded, and would have been fine. It would have been so realistic. Not only that, the music was getting you ready for him to die, and it was just great. Now, these are the kind of twists and turns that I'm like, okay, that's dumb, right? That was a dumb decision. And not only that, it would have done great for his character arc. Now, you might be thinking, oh wait, well his character arc was fulfilled in episode 7. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And that's the issue, right? Okay, I talk about these feministic kinds of things. We don't need a woman saving a guy. Just come on, okay? Like, women are great. Yeah. I don't care, okay? I just don't care. It would have done great for his character arc. One, because he's not only sacrificing himself, but he's saving the rebels. He's saving the rest of the rebels, the rest of the resistance, right? And that's great. Because in episode 7, you could have argued that he's trying to save Rey, but she's a f***ing Mary Sue, right? She just is way too perfect because she's a woman. And you could argue that he's defending himself, Okay, he's not necessarily defending Rey, right? He was running away and stuff like that. He tries to get Rey to run with him. And here, he's not running. Not only is he sacrificing himself, but he's actually saving other people. Okay, people he doesn't even know. And so that's the great thing about so that's the horrible thing, I'm sorry, about the decision of him being saved. He should have died in that moment, and that would have been great. Okay? All right, comedic devices. Luke with the lightsaber. You have a scene after the introduction between Poe and, him, them trying to get some kind of hothead sort of Han Solo character out of him. And it just, doesn't work because it's just not ever going to work. But you get to Rey and Luke, and Rey hands Luke the lightsaber, and Luke just throws it over his shoulder. And I'm just kind of thinking at that moment, why would you do that? Why? That doesn't make sense. And it's bashing his character just a little bit. A little bit. And I'm going to say it's bashing his character because in episode 5, he was the person that took it seriously, that took the Force seriously, that took the ideology seriously, okay? And it wasn't something that was just like, I'm just going to throw this over. Like, I understand if he's upset, he could have taken this, gotten, aggravated and walked off. But that would have been a little bit better. A little bit better. He could have even walked off without even taking the lightsaber. That would have been great. But to throw it over his shoulder like it's a toy? I mean, are you serious? Horrible. Disgusting. Disgusting. The birds. The porgs. Why do they exist? They don't need to exist. The most annoying thing in episode 8, by far, I hated them. And I wanted to kill myself every time I saw them. They were horrible. I hate them. We don't need another Ewok replacement. That's what we're going to do with you guys, okay? Every time you come up with a Star Wars movie, we're going to be comparing them to the originals and to the prequels, okay? Because George Lucas was first, all right? And also because J.J. Abrams decided to be an idiot and copy episode 4 because we have to get the right kind of audience. He was supposed to do that. Not to turn the audience away. Just shut the up, people. Shut the up. He has no ideas, no original ideas, okay? That's his issue. So he has to copy other people's ideas, okay? They're not Ewoks, okay? They don't need to exist. Ewoks were great. Well, to a certain extent, they actually had to do with the story. We don't need something shoehorned in saying, here's your Ewok replacement. You didn't like the Ewoks? Maybe you'll like these. No, you! Oh my god, these people, I swear. Okay, jokes did not land. I noticed a lot of them in the first viewing. I've seen it 3 times. They did not, and I only had to see it 3 times because I had to get all my notes straight and make sure I was on point of tearing apart this movie. So wonderful. Okay, the last thing, one of the last things, I'm going to talk about how great the movie is. Just a couple of points of how great it was. This is a you to J.J. Abrams. So much. I felt it. It was like Rian Johnson was like a middle finger to J.J. Abrams. I'm going to do what I want. Your movie sucked ass and stuff like that. Not only does Rian Johnson decide to get rid of everything that was set up, he calls out points within the last movie. It kind of took me out of the movie for a moment. And I just kind of what am I watching real quick, right? I felt like I was watching someone who was getting back at another director for a moment. And that's not necessarily a problem with the movie. It was a little bit. They got rid of Snoke. He died, okay? Snoke died. Why? Why did Snoke have to die? Why would you do that? Now, Ren kills him out of a power thing. It's weird, okay, because Rey is about to die and Ren was about to kill her, but instead he decides to kill Snoke. Snoke is sitting down in his throne, and this lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, is right by his side. And Ren, he basically uses the Force to turn the lightsaber and then turn it on again. And at this time, Snoke is like, I see your every intention, your every thought, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, okay, that is really stupid for him not to notice that the lightsaber is turning right beside him, right? Because as a Sith, you're supposed to be able to sense those kinds of things. That's another convenience that was just incredibly horrible. But it could have also showed you how smart Ren is. But this is again a problem, because like I said, it points out the flaws in Episode 7. And you have the scene in Episode 7 where the movie is conveying to the audience that Ren is an extremely powerful character, and he stops a laser bolt in midair. And this scene does not convey that, okay? It's like the scene is supposed, or is trying to convey to the audience that Ren is a powerful character, but it just doesn't. And it doesn't because Snoke says to him, you were bested by a girl that didn't even hold a lightsaber. That's another one of those things where I said it pointed out the flaws in Episode 7. And I think there's a couple more things. I could be wrong, but it was weird and it was good. I have to give Rian Johnson the highest of fives for pointing that out, for just saying something like that. So that was great, and I'm really glad. I really hope that J.J. Abrams did not help him. Otherwise, I would have to give him credit too. Great things about the movie. Like I said, there's a couple of scenes, or the movie is redeemable. That the only thing redemptive about this movie is that it's not like Episode 5. How wonderful. What a smart thing to actually do something original. Now, there's some beats of Episode 5, but they're not as you can't see them as much, all right? You have to be extremely, and I mean fucking extremely, nitpicky to see them. And so I have to give Rian Johnson that. The Force uses were great. It reminded me of the 2003 Clone Wars. Now, the Clone Wars, what a great and extremely orgasmic Samurai Jack style cartoon of Star Wars. Super fucking hot, okay? So hot. And there's a couple of uses of the Force that's just really awesome. So you have Luke self-projecting himself when he's going to fight Ren. And it's used as a tactic. It's just a diversion kind of thing, and it's really, really awesome. You have the Force link between Ren and Rey, and it's cool, and they're in two totally different locations, like light years apart, and it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous to see them connect like that and to talk and have that dialogue, and it's so wonderful. So wonderful. You have Leia using the Force. It's a little bit over the top, but what happens is you see a scene, and I think it was in the trailer, where Ren is about to shoot the ship, and you think he's about to kill his mom, but he doesn't. The people actually to either side shoot the ship, and she is basically sucked out into space and stuff like that. And so basically you see another scene of her, and she kind of wakes up and she uses the Force to get back to the ship. And it's actually really cool. It's a little bit over the top, but it is really, it's actually kind of cool. So I I didn't know how I felt about it, because throughout the movie I'm like, okay, she's obviously gonna die in this movie, you know, because she's dead. All right. Oh my god. Oh, when the credits, okay, like they sit there and you see something that says in honor of our princess, and I just, oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing to say. It was just so nice. It's just right here, right here. Anyway, so anyway, the Force uses were great. I did like them. Definitely Snoke. He seemed very powerful. And that's obviously one of the reasons why I was like, why didn't he sense that lightsaber there? Blah, blah, blah. So, great. Some of the dialogue, some of the scenes. There's a scene where Rey is looking into a mirror, and it's super creepy, and she wants to find her parents. Ren is the one who actually knows who her parents are, and it's nice. It's nice. She's nobody. Her parents are nobody, and it's great. All right? That's what I mean. Everything is set up and just completely falls apart. So he kills Snoke. Rey's parents are nothing. And I swear, if J.J. Abrams pulls some bullshit in Episode 9 where Ren is lying, I'm done. I'm done, okay? I don't want to hear that, all right? At all. So I definitely like this. I still can't decide if I want to see Episode 7 or Episode 8. But it would probably be Episode 8, because I bought Episode 7 and I think I've watched it at least like 3 or 4 times. And I'm not talking about bought. I'm talking about total, since it's been out in the theaters. I don't necessarily like that movie very much. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.